Yes.
Hello, hello, and welcome to our Inner Balance and Outer Radiance Masterclass free training today. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Amanda Hinman. I'm the founder and CEO of Hinman Holistic Health and joined with Amanda Weil to be here today. I want to say hello, Amanda.
Yes. I'm Amanda Weil. I'm a soul stylist and the CEO of the Style Awakening. And I'm so excited to be here today. Amanda and I wanted to pull this together because we both realized that there's such a deep correlation between how you're feeling on the inside and how you then show up through your clothing. And especially with the holidays coming on, where there's like high stress, there's different food, there's all these events. We really felt like it was the perfect time to bring everyone together. And for those of you that are here with us live, amazing welcome. For those of you that are going to be catching the replay, we know Friday at 10 a.m. noon is a little bit tough for some people. So we're excited for you watching it on the replay as well.
Yes, absolutely. So excited. And as Amanda was saying, it's kind of funny, Amanda and Amanda. We're
I
like
know the Amanda.
the duo Amanda show. I love it. I love it.
Yes. Oh, hi, Joanne. Hi, Ruth. Sorry, more people coming in.
Yeah, great to see you, ladies. But take a moment to, you can feel free to pop in the chat. There's, if you look at the three buttons on the bottom of your screen, there's a chat. You can say hello, tell us where you're joining from. It'd be great to get to know a little bit more about everyone. And as Amanda was saying, we just thought it would be a great idea to get together before the holidays because this is naturally a busy time of year. And many of us may have some certain gatherings or different family events and experiences that not only include eating out, include additional dining, include, different meal choices and celebrations, but also ways that we want to feel good and feel confident in our style and how we show up, both physically and just energetically feeling amazing. So let's see here. We have Suzanne and Sharon's from North Carolina.
Ooh, Cape Cod.
Let's see. Joanne from Cape Cod. Welcome, welcome. So great to have you here. All right. So
Amanda, before we dive in, do you want to spotlight the two of us?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Are you not seeing us spotlighted? I think on my screen we are.
Here we go. I had it set to gallery view. So now I'm on speaker view.
Yes. Okay, great.
I see you spotlighted. Yes.
I think I have us set on speaker view. So I believe we should both be pinned.
Oops, did I just pin myself on accident?
Nope, I pinned you. So I think we should both be, I think we're both set.
Okay.
So,
really good.
All right. Good. Well, first of all, as we think about, heading into the season of holidays, season of celebrating, especially with Thanksgiving next week. I don't know about any of you, but who here has sometimes or periodically struggled with either unwanted things like bloating, maybe a little bit of, digestive distress, or feeling even some brain fog, mental fatigue, a lot of different things. And sometimes it's not even related to our stomach or our digestion, but can be tied to our ability to digest. Oop, you know what? I'm going to just mute. There we go. Actually, maybe I'll ask everyone to mute so that we don't have any background noise interrupting the recording. Where you're even sometimes struggling with headaches, struggling with fatigue, or achiness in our joints. I mean, has anyone ever experienced that before, especially around the holiday time? Yeah, definitely. If you want to put in the chat, put an M for me. We've all been there before. We know what that's like. We're going to be talking about some simple strategies that you can do today and over these next several weeks to support your optimal gut health and microbiome health. Because if you haven't heard the saying before, all dis-ease in the body begins in the gut. Our gut truly is kind of that centerpiece for health and vitality. It's how every single one of our 380 billion cells receive nourishment. Yes, I said that right. 380 billion. I mean, we literally have so many cells that are regenerating every second. It's about 3.2 million cells per second that are being created in your body. So those cells all require having key nutrients in order to function, to do their job well. And when they don't have those nutrients, that's when we come up with things like, bloating, just digestive distress, other imbalances, and even other dynamics further upstream. But one of the key things when we think about supporting our body is with simple foods that we're choosing on a regular basis. And I want to talk a little bit about how to support our gut microbiome with things like probiotics. We've probably heard of that for, catchphrase over and over, but simple foods, this is one of my favorites. It's actually,
I love that stuff.
yeah, it's actually found at Costco. It's Wild Brine is a brand, so it's usually available. Many grocery stores also carry it, but it's just naturally fermented raw probiotics. That's very simple, and honestly, thinking about ways to get creative, you can even have a couple of tablespoons for a snack. In the middle of the afternoon, if you kind of are looking for something that's going to give you a little bit of a crunch, a little bit of a sour flavor. Or I even like to have it in the morning with a little bit of, I have scrambled eggs, I'll have some black beans and a couple scoops of sauerkraut. So I want to have you thinking outside of your box. Then
try that. It's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Has anyone ever had vegetables for breakfast? Put in the chat if you have veggies at breakfast. Yeah, definitely. That is something, it's a new way of thinking about it, but even having probiotics like sauerkraut for breakfast is really, really powerful. And another thing that can, again, give our gut, our microbiome, the support that it needs is healthy amino acids, healthy proteins. So ways that we can think about adding in, support for our microbiome is things like bone broth. This is, again, found in most health food stores, most grocery stores, but this is a simple way to have, extra protein, those amino acids that are going to be really nourishing to the gut lining and really important to kind of soothe, especially if you're having a little bit of, bloatedness or even diarrhea, constipation, things like that. So protein with amino acids, such as in bone broth, sipping broth is a good one. The probiotics found in naturally fermented foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, kefir, different things like that, and high fiber foods. So having things that include, our oats, our whole grains, flax seeds are really beneficial. I love simple things like beans. And again, keeping it convenient, especially during the holidays, is something that makes it more accessible. So even if you buy a can of beans, you take it and you strain it, drain it, rinse it out, maybe warm it up a little bit, and just throw it over a salad, right? Have it with a meal. If you're having some type of soup or something, you can add some beans in it. That's going to increase the fiber content, which is going to give our gut microbiome the healthy balance that it desires to keep those short chain fatty acids in play, to keep the gut really in a strong balanced perspective. And it helps to stabilize our blood sugar levels throughout the day. One other thing that I want to share that's really, really important when it comes to our digestion is the strength and the power of our stomach acid. So stomach acid is really the stomach's ability to break down and to digest your food. So all the foods that we're taking in next Thursday for a Thanksgiving meal or any of the Christmas holiday celebrations that we're going to be experiencing in the month of December as well, is going to be important to have strong stomach acid. So one of my favorite at-home tests to try and test to see if you have adequate levels of stomach acid is to take a glass of plain water, a couple ounces, 4 to 6 ounces of water, and then you want to grab baking soda and simply take about a teaspoon of baking soda, mix it into your water, and first thing in the morning before you eat or drink anything else, drink that solution. I know it doesn't taste the best, but if you drink a baking soda and water solution, just 1 teaspoon of baking soda, stir it around, and then wait to time how long it takes you to have a burp. The ions in the baking soda react with the acid in our stomach and should create a gaseous response, should cause you to burp. But if you time yourself and it takes up to 3 minutes or longer to generate a burp, then that is definitely a very clear sign that you likely will have suboptimal stomach acid. And stomach acid, like I said, is really, really critical to know how well our body is able to break down the food that we're consuming. So many women, in fact, that I coach all the time are really surprised to find out that their stomach acid is actually lower than they thought. Going to try this weekend. Yes, definitely. And we will have space for Q&As. I'm glad you're asking, but I definitely encourage everyone here, if you get a chance, to try this test, because it cues us in terms of what our body needs in order to be able to improve digestion so that we can optimize our overall health and our well-being. But if you don't find that you generate a burp within 3 minutes, or if it takes even 2.5, that may be a sign that we need to support our digestion further. So what are some ways that we can support it? Like I said, with those probiotics, these are very helpful. They definitely give good nourishment to the gut microbiome. With things like bone broth or other sources of protein, another source of simple protein add is collagen. Collagen peptides can work well, especially if you're adding it into a smoothie or into a soup. Again, it doesn't really have much of a flavor, but it can add some of that nourishing amino acids. And fiber foods, so things like beans, things like whole vegetables. During the holiday season, carrots, parsnips, sweet potatoes, those are all good sources of fiber as well. So consuming those foods. But I think it's really important, and I'm definitely going to encourage you to test your stomach acid levels, because oftentimes I'll have people say to me, Amanda, I actually think I have trouble with I have too much stomach acid, because after I eat, sometimes I feel full really fast, or I have a little bit of reflux sensation. And so I think my stomach acid is too high. I'm actually taking things like Tums or a proton pump inhibitor medication. And frequently it's the inverse. It's actually low levels of stomach acid that don't appropriately signal one of the sphincters, the pyloric sphincter, to close at the top of our esophagus, to close off that opening to the stomach. So then when we do eat, a little bit of the acid bubbles up and gets into the wrong location. That's the sensation that they're feeling, or that's the fullness that they're feeling, but it's actually from inadequate stomach acid levels rather than too much stomach acid. So one of the signs that we can see is if you have low energy, if there's other signs of immune suppression or headaches, other things like that, it's a sign that our body isn't getting the nourishment that it needs. So having good, strong digestive capability is going to be really important. And the last thing I want to share as an idea is, when we think about hydration, adding electrolytes, especially enough sodium, because sodium is necessary to generate hydrochloric acid or stomach acid. So we need to have adequate sodium in the body in order to be able to even make hydrochloric acid to help with that digestion and that breakdown. So I know I just gave you a lot of ideas, a lot of information. Hopefully you jotted down some. Never heard of this test, going to try this weekend. Okay. Started drinking that thanks to you. Okay, good. Anyone have any questions or ideas that they want to, just comments about whether or not you're open to trying the baking soda test? Yeah.
Amanda, I'm excited to try it because I have, I play with taking betaine HCl because I did a little test with that to check stomach acid.
Yep.
Yet I stopped taking it because I was like, I don't know, is this really a thing? So I'm excited to try this test now to
Yes.
understand that. And would you say also with low stomach acid, could another symptom be burping after you
Yes.
eat?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Well, and here's another thing, and actually I'm glad you're asking this, and we can dive in further. So some people ask, like, what do I do if I do find that I have low stomach acid?
Yeah.
Several key things. Eating hygiene is going to be absolutely critical. And in large part, especially during the holidays. So I want you to think about this, give yourself an anchor, because we often, especially when we're eating in social environments, or when we're, in a new place and kind of simultaneously grazing as we're socializing and talking, we're not paying attention to the process of chewing and consuming food. And so, as maybe different as this sounds, literally think about chewing your food 20 times before you swallow. And I know that's mind blowing because most of us are like chew, chew, swallow down the hatchet, and we end up swallowing big clumps of food, which actually give our stomach a whole lot more work to do to try and break that all down. So it means you need even have higher levels of stomach acid in order to do that. But I want you to think about this holiday season. Maybe if you're in a new environment, or if you're not in your home environment, when you're out eating at a restaurant or at somebody else's house, think about noticing one aspect of the food that you're consuming in terms of, can you pick out a flavor like, oh, I taste that rosemary in that appetizer, or I'm noticing that, is that a hint of orange? Because if you're really focusing on identifying one unique flavor, it's going to force you to slow down. It will force you to chew and really be present with the sensory experience of consumption rather than just chomp, chomp, swallow down the hatchet, right? So see if you can take note of one unique or distinct seasoning or flavor in the food that you're consuming, because that behavior in itself will slow you down. And that is critical to signal to the rest of the body. A lot of people find it fascinating to find out that it takes 20 minutes roughly for the food from your stomach to drip into the next part of the duodenum, to move into the small intestine. So 20 minutes, that's kind of just being churned and processed around in the stomach before it finally passes through. And for many of us, we're so busy eating that we could just consume a whole meal and maybe even go back for a second plate before that first teaspoon has passed through to signal like, okay, now we're eating. This is what's happening right now. So the brain hasn't even caught up with, oh, food's coming in. Okay, we're getting what we need. And we may already be going back for a plate of seconds. So simply the experience of slowing down and chewing more thoroughly, being more present, more mindful with our meal tremendously supports the digestive process for our stomach acid.
And Joanne was asking if it's low, how to address it. And that's what you were saying is like with choosing the certain foods.
Yes, choosing the certain foods is going to help to give your body what it needs to be able to produce the stomach acid. So the probiotic foods, things like the yogurt, sauerkraut, kefir, having foods that contain the healthy amino acids, such as the bone broth, other sources of protein, and the fiber-rich foods, the prebiotic foods, things like the beans, the oats, the flaxseed, and in addition, hydration with, electrolytes, especially containing sodium, can help with that as well. So all of these things can help to address the stomach acid sufficiency, chewing mindfully, noticing the specific flavor in foods helps to support our body's ability to break that down as well. Yes. Is this a benefit of starting with soup cues the belly? Great question, Suzanne. So definitely starting with soup, although I will say it definitely cues the belly and it's softer, right? There's less that need to be like dismantled, if you think of, for soup, because it's smoother, it's softer. So that definitely cues the belly. One thing I do encourage people to also be mindful of the amount of liquid consumption within that like 45 to 60 minute time around mealtime. So 20 to 30 minutes before, 20 to 30 minutes after, especially for the holidays. If we're out at a restaurant, what do they typically do? They continue to fill up our water cup. We continue to have, a glass or two of wine. If you can try and space out that liquid consumption or minimize just in that window of time right when you're going to be consuming food, that will help to bolster and to strengthen the power of digestion too. Think of it of a dilution factor. If you put, a gallon of food coloring into a 3-gallon container, it's going to be nice and potent and strong. But if you put a gallon of food coloring into a huge, gigantic swimming pool in your backyard, it gets very diluted. that same effect happens if we're drinking a ton of liquids at the same time that we're consuming foods.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a couple of tips to help support some digestion this holiday season.
Those were so good, Amanda. And I love too that it's simple. And I think what we get to keep in mind here is that the body really does know how to heal itself. And
Yes.
when we're out of alignment, I love that you were sharing of like slowing down, being aware, noticing the food that you're eating. Because when we're in that awareness place, like our body truly can heal. It doesn't have to be this crazy process of take all these supplements and do this and do that. It's like just really listen to what your body needs, be present with it, and incorporate some of these foods that our body really enjoys. So in
Mm-hmm.
between the holiday eating, and I know Amanda's not saying don't go enjoy your holiday food because she's all
Yes.
about balance.
Yes.
It's just in between that being really cognizant of how you're nourishing your body to help.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Absolutely. And so thinking about it too, if you can choose one or any of these that maybe stood out to you or seems feasible and enjoyable, hey, if you know you're going out for something later that evening, maybe that earlier in that day for breakfast or for lunch, you're going to be sure to incorporate some fiber rich
Yeah.
foods, or you're going to be sure to grab that extra electrolyte powder and hydrate well earlier in the day. Mm-hmm.
Love that. Such good
Yes.
tips. Such good tips. Was that so good, everybody? Did you learn something new? I learned something, the baking soda. Can you guys see me okay? Because I'm not seeing myself on the screen now. I don't know if it's on my end.
Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can
I just
remove.
want to make sure for the recording that that
I'm going to
people
remove my pin. So now it should be for sure.
okay, I'm gonna pin myself. Okay, now I'm seeing myself. So hopefully you guys can see me too. Yay! So, okay, for anyone that jumped on late, I'm Amanda Weil. I'm a soul stylist and I'm the CEO of the Style Awakening. And we were sharing in the beginning, the reason why Amanda and I wanted to do this together is because there's such a strong correlation. When you feel good on the inside, when you have proper digestion, when you're not feeling bloated, it makes it a lot easier to want to then go put on your cute clothes and to show up and to be out and about. And in the same respect, you can actually flip that. When you are intentional with your style, when you feel really good about your clothes, when you have these beautiful pieces that you want to go and wear, you then want to take care of yourself because you want to feel good enough to wear them. So it's like this really cool correlation between the two. And something else too to even think about is if you're always hiding yourself in your clothes because you assume that you're going to get bloated later,
Mm-hmm.
you're giving yourself the space to become bloated. Like that mind body connection is so, so powerful. So that's why we thought it was such a good idea to come together and join forces and bring the two Amandas together. So yay. So let's dive in a little bit deeper to style. And obviously it is the holiday season and you might be going to a lot of parties and a lot of events. And I know there can be a lot of pressure of, oh my gosh, what the heck do I wear? What's everyone else wearing? What's the dress code? Am I going to stand out? And the first thing I want to share is who cares? Who cares what the dress code is? Who cares if anyone's judging you? Who cares if you're wearing the right thing? What it really comes down to is getting so clear in your style that you feel confident walking into the room. Because what people are going to notice is not necessarily what you're wearing. They're going to notice your energy and your magnetism. And that has to do with you feeling that inner and outer alignment. So I'm not saying like if the dress code says black tie, I'm not saying show up in like your torn up jeans and a t-shirt, right? But I'm just saying take a little bit of the stress off, take a little bit of that pressure off of having to look a certain way or feeling like people are going to judge you, and really allow yourself to kind of go within and get clear on your style and how you want to show up. Because now that your digestion is flowing and you're feeling really good, you're definitely going to want to show up. So what I would love to do today is dive in a little bit more to your style vision and help you start to get clear on that and what that might look like for the holidays. Because I really want you to understand leaving here how your style is playing a role in your current life and what you're experiencing, what's showing up for you, and how you can actually use your style as a tool to create the life of your dreams. And maybe that correlates with feeling really good physically, right? To improve your health. And again, I really want you to worry less about being judged and what others are thinking. And I really want you to get clear on the true you. And, you know, I'm sure so many of you here have these big dreams in your heart, or maybe it's just like a dream of enjoying the holidays and feeling really good at parties. And it's totally possible for you, right? Those dreams, those desires are already in existence because you're already feeling them. And so it's really up to you to now live the life already knowing that they're coming true. And it's most
Mm.
likely in a better way than you can imagine. And I truly feel that the most important part of realizing those dreams and in creating this beautiful holiday experience in whatever your goal is for these next few months is how you show up. It's your consistency, and it's how you show up mentally, how you show up emotionally, and how you show up physically. And that also has to do with how you show up in the kitchen, right? Are you preparing for success? Are you taking the time to map out your meals for the week, to shop in a healthy way? Right. And then also, are you showing up in the physical through your clothes? Are you showing up as the person that already has what you want? So are you showing up as the person that has amazing digestion, that feels really good in his or her body, and walks into a room feeling really confident? So I always like to ask, are you dressing as the CEO of your life and business?
Mhm.
Or are you waiting for things to happen before you start dressing the part?
Well, you know
So,
what's so helpful
oh,
for
yeah.
Amanda, as you're saying about this, it's helpful for me to think about because when I just the awareness of creating a game plan, just like I create a game plan for my nutrition, but the awareness of creating a game plan for my style and how I want to look and feel going to different holiday events is relatively new from my perspective. I don't typically pre-plan. It's more like the day of, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll go in my closet. Like, what am I going to wear? Versus thinking about it intentionally well in advance.
Yes, I love that. And that's really what it is. And that's why, like, I'm going to guide you guys through some questions to get clear on your style vision, because then moving forward, you're getting dressed with intention, you're shopping with intention. It just makes it a lot easier so that you're not scrambling at the last minute to pull something out of your closet. It's
Mhm.
it's prepare. Someone shared an amazing quote with me, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's something like, are you, oh shoot, preparing, are you, shoot, not not planning to something is preparing to fail. Shoot. I can't remember the quote, but it's about like how we get to really prepare for success in our life, because if you're not preparing, then you're setting yourself up to fail. Such a
Mhm.
good quote. I can't remember. I need to write it down. So I would love to know in the chat, how many of you feel like your style represents the true you? Like, do you feel like on the day to day you're showing up and you're like, yeah, this feels good. I feel like me. Okay, man, that's got to sometimes. Okay. Anyone else? Are you feeling like, yeah, I know my style. I feel really good every day. I show up, I'm rocking it. And you can also let me know if you feel like your style represents what you're stepping into next. Like, are you clear in what you're creating next in your life and how that version of you dresses? Okay, so Martha, when you plan, again,
Mhm.
Sharon on the weekends. Okay, so on during the week, yes. On the weekends, no. Okay, interesting. Because I'm assuming during the week you're dressing maybe for a job, and then the weekends is more you time. So getting clear on like
Mm.
what I totally get that. My background, you guys, was corporate. I was in corporate America for 12, 13, 14 years. And so I really understand feeling like I had to play a part during the week, and I felt really stifled in how I could show up. I never wanted to be too sexy. I never wanted to like show off too much because I was in the boys club, and but then the weekends come and you're like, wait, but how do I really express me? I'm so confused. So I totally get that. Oh, you're the throw it all away stage. Joanne, let's go. I'm ready for you. I love it. Okay. So, good questions to start to think about, right? And the reason why I'm asking this also is because 89% of what we learn and what others learn is visual. So I'm going to say that again. 89%, it's around there. The stats might be 90% one day, 85% one day, but 89% of what we learn and what others learn is visual. So you
Mhm.
have about 3 to 7 seconds when you meet someone to either connect or disconnect. And as I was sharing earlier, it's not just about like your style and what you look like, it's your overall energy and how you show up, because you haven't even really gotten anything out of your mouth. So your appearance, it's your overall confidence, and this is why it's really important to start with feeling really good with your digestion and with your health, so that that impacts your energy as well, and that makes you want to show up in a different way. So whether you think it's important or not, your style matters. And what I really want to, I was talking about not worrying about what other people think as you walk into a room, or you have the latest thing. It's not about having the latest handbag or shoes or only designer pieces. That is not true style. That's fashion, right? But what it is it's about knowing your true self, the real you, your soul, your inner essence, and really understanding how to express the real you through your clothing. So it's an overall vibe, it's an overall confidence, an overall connection. And that's why it's so important to feel good in your health, because when you feel good in your health, you're able to truly connect within. You're not, stressing or feeling bad, right? So you feel really good. And so it allows you to deeply connect with who you are, which then allows you to express that. And that's when your inner world and your outer world match. And that's what creates the authenticity in how you show up. And it's also what creates confidence. And as we know, confidence is a key to everything.
Mhm.
And I always say, you don't always need another skill to be successful. Yes, it's important to learn and to continue and grow. But what it really comes down to is needing the confidence in yourself that what you desire is achievable. So even when we look at our physical health, right? It's having the confidence that your body will heal. And it's having, and I know Amanda's work is so deep as well. And it's not just about the foods, it's about really uncovering the way you're talking to yourself, the way you think about yourself. And so that's what this really all comes down to, right? It's not just the physical things. It's not just the food you're eating. It's not just the clothes you're putting on your body. It's really what's going on within. And that's why it felt so good for me and Amanda to partner, because we both really do that deeper work starting within. And so while I shared with you that I shared with you the stats about the impression you're making on others, what's more important is the impression you're making on yourself. Right. So it's not just about your clothes. It's not just about getting dressed when you have an event. It's about you really being clear on how you feel wearing the clothes. And it's about you showing up for you every single day. So it's that overall energy, and really your clothing and your style and the intention in which you show up is what actually elevates your vibe. And so the greater you elevate your vibe, the greater you elevate your soul, this is when you become so magnetic for those people and those opportunities that you wish to attract. That's when you're able to walk into a holiday party and feel so good about yourself and not worry about like, oh my gosh, who am I going to talk to? And that used to be me. I used to be so nervous walking into a room of people that I didn't know, because I was like, oh my gosh, who am I going to talk to? What if there's no one there for me to talk to? What if people are judging me? And now I don't care. I get excited to walk into a room because I'm like, ooh, who do I get to meet? Right. And it's not about feeling like I have to find someone immediately to start talking to because I'm going to be that weird person standing alone in a corner, not talking to anyone. Now it's about being that magnetic light where I walk into a room and people come to me now.
Mhm.
Right. And that's because I really have that inner and outer connection. So is this making sense for everyone? And I do want to share too, while you're letting me know in the chat, that I did a lot of deep work last year on my gut health and on feeling better and really understanding my body. And it completely did shift how I started dressing. So I finally felt confident. I'd never felt confident in the past showing off my stomach, like wearing like maybe a little bit of a crop top or, with like a high waist jeans. I never felt confident doing that because I always felt bloated. Let me tell you, I'm wearing those all the time now. And I feel really confident, even in a day where maybe I don't feel the best about myself. I'm like, I don't care. I'm still going to wear it because
Yeah.
I love it. Like I feel good. So it's like such a beautiful, deep connection when you really understand your body and how it operates. And then you're able to take that and extend it into your clothes.
Mhm.
Right. And if you think about it, like everything is made up of energy. I mean, we are energetic beings, the world, everything is frequency, light, energy. And so consider like the clothes that you're putting on your body, just like Amanda was saying, what you're ingesting is really important, energetics for your cells. So think about what you're putting on your body, because your skin is actually your largest organ. And
Mhm.
so it's absorbing. So when you're putting on clothes that make you feel good, when you're clear of the fabric content and it's beautiful things like silk or bamboo or cotton versus like a polyester. And look, I'm not saying go throw out everything in your closet that isn't natural. It's a process. I still wear some things that are not natural as well. I'll admit that, right? But it's just being really clear on, okay, how is this impacting me? And am I putting on things that feel good and elevate my vibe? Because it really does make you show up differently. And I've noticed, I think there's a lot of men and women out there who deprioritize their style and how they feel because it doesn't feel important. There's 20,000 things on your to-do list. And the last thing you want to do is spend that extra 20 minutes getting ready or take the time on the weekend to maybe go out and go shopping. And I get it. Even I have those days. I have a new puppy right now. Thankfully, she's downstairs sleeping. Yet I even have those mornings sometimes where I'm like, well, I'm just going to be out with the puppy 10,000 times potty training. So can I just leave my sweats on? And it's like, no, wait, no. Still get to put on like a cute outfit. Right. And so I feel like a lot of times, you do deprioritize that because you don't think it's important. And there's other things on your to-do list that are more important, yet what you're missing is the focus on who you are being in your life and business. And that's how you show up every day, because whether you might realize it or not, you're sending the universe and your subconscious a message based on how you're dressed and how you're showing up. Even if you don't see anyone that day, you're still putting it out there.
Well,
And
you know what
so,
I love about
yeah,
that, Amanda? And I
yeah,
think we've talked about this before. Similar, I mean, I would say it's an awareness similar to healthy choices are an awareness. It's less about what the clothes actually are. It's more about your intention when selecting those clothes. Like you said, because you may have a day where you're not going to be out or seeing a lot of people. So you want to be in comfortable joggers and a cute little zip up or something that's very, very
yes,
comfortable. But if it's your style and it absolutely embodies who you are and how you love to feel that freedom and movement of an expression in your body, it's a completely different energy than, oh, I don't know, I have nothing to wear, I'll just throw this on type of a thing.
right. Right. Or I'll just roll out of bed in my pajamas. I love that you
Mhm.
shared that, Amanda, because look, I love a good sweat suit
Mhm.
too. Like there are definitely days where I'm like, I'm going to wear my sweats, yet they're cute sweats,
Yes.
purposefully curated. They're not like holy with stains on it. Like it's a cute little sweatsuit. And I might still put on some jewelry. I might still put on some makeup, or maybe I don't put on makeup. Right. But
Mhm.
I still feel good in what I'm wearing, even if it's cute. And I love, thank you for like sharing that. Cause it's true.
Mhm.
It's like, really think of your clothing as a physical vision board,
Mhm.
and you're declaring to the universe, you're declaring to others how you choose to show up, and life is a direct mirror. So how you choose to show up is exactly how you're going to be treated by other people. I have a lot of clients that share with me that they'll notice if they have a day where they're like dressed really well, they've taken the time, they put the intention in, they go somewhere, they get treated so differently, whether it's by like the valet, whether it's at checkout, whether it's they're just running to pick something up, they get treated so differently than other days when they're maybe in like super mom mode, their hair's a mess, they roll out of bed in their pajamas, they didn't put any intention in, they feel invisible.
Mhm.
And it really does make a difference. So it's just play with that, try it, and I really think it's also on a deeper level, it's about valuing yourself enough to actually show up and be seen, to really allow yourself to fully express your inner essence through your clothes. So, you can think of it too, like I'm sure so many of you are familiar with Tony Robbins and how he always talks about changing your state. And so he'll be like,
Mhm.
put on music, dance, jump on the reformer, like get your physical body moving to change your state, to get your mind out of those patterns that maybe are not so beneficial, right? Because you're like shaking up your routine. So you can actually think of your clothing as a way to change your state as well. So maybe you're having a day where you're not feeling so great, or you're like, oh, I need to get on camera today, or I don't know, I need to call someone and have a conversation, and you're not feeling it. Go into your closet, pick out your most favorite piece of clothing. Maybe it's a hot pink blazer or whatever it is. Put that on and just notice how you shift.
Mhm.
Right. And and also going to the next level, really thinking about, and I kind of teased at this, thinking about what's your next level self doing? How is she showing up? She or he showing up? What's this life you're creating? And how are you dressing when it comes to fruition? And this is what allows you to really quantum leap into the next phase, because you're not just visualizing, like the visualization is so important, getting really clear on what you want, yet you're also anchoring it with physical clothing.
Mhm.
So I would love to share with you guys some questions. So I usually go really deep with my clients on helping them get clear on their style vision. That's always the very first step of the process before you even shop, before you purge your closet. Like, you need to know where you're going. You need to know what you're stepping into, your vision. So I thought it'd be really fun to share with you all today, just a couple of questions that you can start journaling on. You can think about this weekend to help you start to get clear on your style vision. And maybe it's just your style vision for the holidays, or maybe it's your style vision moving forward. And this is what's going to allow it to feel easier to get dressed. So, and it really creates that framework. So the first question to ask yourself is, what's my number one goal through the rest of this year? What's my number one goal? And really, maybe it's just to feel good in my body. Maybe it's to bring in an additional 50,000. Maybe it's to have a beautiful holiday with your family with no fighting, right? Whatever that goal is, journal on that. And then the next step is to think about, how do you feel when that goal comes to fruition? Like, really take yourself there. After this, I invite you to close your eyes and just really allow yourself to be there as if it's already coming true. How do you feel as that's coming true? What emotions are you eliciting in yourself? What emotions are you eliciting from others? How is it changing your life? How is it changing the life of your family, of your clients? And then the next step is to think about, okay, as that goal is coming to fruition, what am I wearing? How am I showing up? What is this vision that I have of myself? And you get to just really sit and have some fun visualizing on that, play some great music, just really allow yourself to go there. And then from there, journal on if there's any, or start to notice, maybe you might not know this already, but this is something that you get to start to notice is, are there any style icons? Are there any celebrities, athletes, TV characters, or friends whose style you really, really admire? And then as you start to notice, like, within all those people, what are some of the similarities? So do they all have a similar style? Do they all have a signature piece? Is it a color combination that they're doing? Like, what are the similarities that you're seeing within those people? Because essentially you're creating your physical vision for yourself, your mood board for yourself. And from there, you can start to get clear on the pieces that are standing out to you. And then those would be the pieces to start to add into your wardrobe, because it isn't about revamping your whole closet overnight. That's just not realistic. And also, we're always changing, especially as we're on this process of really getting clear on our body and healing ourselves and healing our digestion. Like, we're always changing, we're always uncovering things, we're always learning more. So your style is always going to be changing a little bit. So you get to slowly start to add these pieces that feel like your future self, that feel really good to you, and start wearing them and see how you feel. And I just want to remind you that people make decisions based on emotion. So in any aspect of your life, it might be your business, it might be your personal life, like, even because we're always enrolling people, even if we're enrolling our family in where we want to go to dinner, and people decide based on emotion. So you really get to ask yourself, what emotion do you want to elicit from others? And you get to be that person now, and you get to be that person through your clothes. And maybe you don't feel like that person yet. Okay, so start adding some of the clothing and allow that to be your armor. Like Beyonce, when she first started performing, she took on an alter ego. She took on Sasha Fierce because she would get up on stage and not feel like she could do it. She didn't feel worthy of it. So she took on an alter ego. So maybe for now, you need to allow your clothes to be your alter ego for a little bit, to really allow yourself to step in. So I'm curious if anyone is starting to see maybe a new style vision for yourself. If things are just kind of like, if you're having any ahas, let me see what's happening in the chat. Oh, Martha, that's a great question related to construction. I need to go supervise a job today. Yeah, so that's going to be about getting clear on, like, your overarching style and how you want to show up, and then how can you morph that? So is it different shoes that you get to wear to be on a site? Like, maybe instead of a skirt, you're throwing on some pants, right? But still being able to elude that essence. Yes, good. Add the intention, start with a few items. Okay, good. So, what I really want to land, and then we'll have space for some more Q&A, is that instead of playing that game of, oh, I'll start showing up as that woman once I get the job I want, or once I get the date I want, or once my stomach starts feeling better, right? Once my digestion is on point, you get to realize that it's about showing up as that version of you first, to then attract in what you truly desire. So when you're showing up as that person and you're working on your physical health, I promise you it's going to happen a lot faster, because you're telling the universe, you're telling God what you truly want, and you're acting as if, and that's really what creates manifestation. So it's like shifting your energy into the knowing and trusting that what you desire also desires you, that you are healing your body, that you are the CEO of your life, and really then use your style to as a physical vision board to attract that in. So I hope that was really helpful for you guys. Amanda and
Yes.
I are open to any questions that you might have for us. We have space for that. If there's any Q&A, feel free.
I love this, Amanda, because I do think it's really about, like you said, almost thinking in advance of where we are going next and embodying those emotions of how we want to feel in our bodies and in our style as well. So it's
Right.
really helpful to
Good.
carve out the space to reflect on these things.
Good. Yeah. And it's interesting because even like thinking about the health, right? Like,
Mhm.
as you know, it's a journey when you're healing your body and you're healing your health. And it can feel frustrating sometimes if, let's say, you have a setback and you're like, why all of a sudden am I bloated again? Why is my digestion off
Yes.
again? And it can feel really frustrated to then want to like dig in and be like, gosh darn it, none of this is working. But like to pause and be like, wait, I've felt good before. How do I
Mhm.
want to feel? I want to feel healed. I am healed. And like just that release, I find for me helps. And all of a sudden my digestion's better again. So it's
Yeah,
really
it's
interesting.
reconnecting. I think it's reconnecting with the truth of our bodies are resilient and capable of true energy and vitality when given the opportunity to have it, right? So it's like you said, kind of pausing to get center and be grounded and connect with our deepest desire
Yeah,
on all
absolutely.
levels.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I just saw Trish. Hi, honey. Yay. And Martha,
Mhm.
I love that. You're ready to show up bigger and blend. Yeah, because the reality is you can blend your work style and personal style into one. It's just
Mhm.
understanding little tricks about like, well, maybe I need to keep a blazer on, or maybe I need to change up my jewels. Like it's actually a lot easier than you might think to merge. Um, any more questions? Anyone, any shares, anything that anyone would like to bring up as you
So
guys
glad
are
this was helpful, Suzanne.
good, good. And, as you guys are maybe thinking of some questions, Amanda, I would love to know what you are most excited about in your business right now.
Ooh, thank you. I am most excited about two things. Actually, next year, looking into 2024, my thyroid hormone solution book is going to be coming out. So that's very exciting. Like it's been a big project for the past year now, really bringing the manuscript together and working with the publisher. So that's kind of like it feels like a brand new baby is coming into the world next year in 2024. And
Yeah.
then more recently, the week actually, the Monday after Thanksgiving, I'm running again another live series of my thyroid hormone reset program live. We do a 4-day deep dive to really just get centered and get clear and focused and looking at the foods and looking at the healthy lifestyle choices that are going to allow us to be in our best performance and our best vitality throughout the month of December. I'm all about my favorite approach or invitation is to do December different, meaning it's not going to be the normal health slide. A lot of people are like, oh, kind of forget health, throw it out the window in December and then start January 1. I'll start my New Year's resolution. No. We want to do December different so you feel fantastic and start the new year in an even better place because you've had the joy of celebration, of festivities, of friends and family, and your health has been really amplified in a positive way. So we're kicking off on Monday the 4-day thyroid hormone reset experience. And I'd love to invite anyone here who's interested. I can definitely pop the
I was
link.
going to say, how can people so that's the Monday after Thanksgiving, so the 27th. How can
Mhm.
people um, get how can people sign up for that? Because I know it's something free that you offer, right?
It
It's
is free. Typically it's a program that's $197, but I'm doing it a couple times a year. I'll do it for free as a gift.
awesome.
So that you can, if you see the link in the chat, and if anyone's interested, wants to test out the link, to just let me know that it worked and everything came through. That's how you can sign up to join us after Thanksgiving.
That's amazing. And then you work with your clients one-on-one, and you also have some group programs as well, right?
Yes, definitely. So my team and I work with individual people who want to, really look at some customized lab work and understand what's happening in their body so they can get to the root cause of whether it be thyroid or other hormone imbalances, things like insulin resistance, autoimmune dynamics, different gut and mood imbalances as well. And we also have a group program that really walks you through how to understand what's happening in your body so that you can be empowered, so you can feel like the driver leading your health. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that. So everybody, make sure you grab that link, because that's going to be really important and impactful. And I've jumped on a bunch of Amanda's courses, and they're really, really helpful.
Thank you. And Amanda, what do you have exciting happening? I know I'm excited about to hear more about your retreat coming up.
Thank you. Yes, yes. So there are more style and soul retreats coming in 2024. So for any of you that don't know, this is something new that I've added to my business. I usually work one-on-one with my clients, styling them, helping them cleanse their closets, get really clear on their style vision, shop, all the fun things. And I added style and soul retreats this year. And it's really an immersion for not just elevating your style, also for your soul. And so in 2024, we have a retreat coming up in Milan in April, and there's a few spots left there. And then in September, it will be in Paris. So I'm super excited about those, because it's a really great opportunity to allow yourself to, even if you buy nothing, to allow yourself to experience luxury, to, be in beautiful stores, to be treated just in a way that maybe you haven't allowed yourself to be treated before. And it's always a mix of high-end designer, amazing vintage locations, and then really cool luxury boutiques. And I've got relationships there where I get to take you in and have like exclusive events with them. And then of course, we're also enjoying the beautiful cities like Milan is. I was just there last month, and Milan is beautiful, the architecture. So doing those soul activities as well. So I'm really excited about those. So if anyone wants information on the retreat, I'm doing an info session next week, Tuesday at noon Pacific, an info session for Milan to dive in a little bit more to what can you expect, what all is included, what hotel are we staying at, just to share a little bit more of the details and answer any questions for anyone that's questioning, like, okay, is this for me? Tuesday at noon, the info session. If anyone that wants to be invited to that, just drop your email in the chat box, put the word retreat and drop your email in the chat box, and I'll reach out to you and get you invited for that. But yeah, that's what I'm most excited about, is my retreats. Yay.
That is super exciting. I love it. And like you said, it's really a fit for almost a step into luxury and a step into what does it feel like? What does living in that space get to embody and to really live it for a period of time so that you can integrate it even further. That's so fun.
Yes. And it's cool because before we even go on the retreat, I'm working one-on-one with everyone who's stepping in and helping them get clear. I mentioned like the deeper process, the style vision process. I take everyone through that. So they get
that's
really
awesome.
clear on where they're going, so that when we are there shopping, again, we're doing it with intention. And it also allows me to curate even more, like hone in a little bit more on the stores that we visit, knowing everyone's style vision and what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, sorry, we got some puppy barks. She woke up. She woke up. Uh-oh. So that's really, really fun too. So getting everyone really, really clear on that ahead of time so that the retreat is super impactful and beneficial. Yeah. So that's what I'm really excited. Okay, great.
That is awesome.
I saw Martha. Amazing. We'll make sure. Oh, good. And she said your link works perfect.
Oh, good.
So that's great. So Martha, I'm going to jot down your email as well, and we'll send you info for the info session. Oh, Trish. And Trish got to, Trish was actually with me in Paris in June. she kind of tagged on to the retreat that I was doing there too. We had so much fun. Trish is one of my amazing clients who I adore and love so
So
much.
Trish, do you want to share with us what was the biggest aha that you experienced already on one of Amanda's amazing retreats?
Oh my gosh. I feel like when we went to Galeries Lafayette in Paris, which
Oh,
it was my second time there, but it was my first time like with Amanda, like with this type of experience. And when I was there before, like people had said like, oh, you have to go into Galeries Lafayette, like before you leave. It's an amazing, like beautiful place. And so when I did get that experience with her and like just walking through these shops, like on every level, like the way it smelled and it has this gorgeous dome. And, you're just like looking at all of these colors and all of these designers all around you, and people are kind of like, moving throughout, and we're kind of, making our way around and, everyone was just so nice. And then, Amanda kind of helps like just ground you so that like, I think it was good I didn't go alone because I would have just been like, blah.
Mm.
But with her, she's like, no, like these are American designers. We can get that back home. Like here, like this is an actual French brand. Like here, look at this one. And so it's really, it's the best feeling in the world. Even today, like when I open my closet and I see like some of the gowns that I got from that experience, like that was in June, and it still brings me that joy to see them there. It still affirms like what she's saying is true. Like it's a physical actual manifestation of this is who you are, like in
Mm.
your
I
closet.
love that. And
So
it gets to be a daily reminder. It's not just in June when you lived it then, it's an ongoing
yeah, here we are.
expression.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really cool.
oh, thanks, Trish. And what she didn't share is that she was actually pushing me in a wheelchair the whole time because I had a massive foot injury when I was there. And so she was actually pushing me in a wheelchair. So, but we had the best time. We made the best of
Right.
it.
We did. I mean, and that really like when you can have someone stay professional, kind, like holding space for you as their foot is broken with
Yes.
stitches in a wheelchair in a public forum, like that's when like, okay, Amanda's the right girl for the
She's
job.
legit.
Okay.
Yes, for
She's
sure.
legit.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks
thanks for
for
sharing.
sharing.
That's awesome.
I love that. Oh, good. Anyone else? Any other questions or anything? We've got some good thank yous. It was good to see everyone. Good, good, good. Martha registered. Okay, great. I'm glad it was helpful. Good. And we'll be sending out the replay too. So if you want to go back
Mhm.
through and listen, there might be something you missed. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We can be sure to include maybe the information about your info session next week and the reset for anyone that's interested when we send out the replay as well.
I love that. That's perfect. Good. Well, thank you
Wonderful.
so much for joining us today. It's really
Yes.
fun to get the power of the Amandas. And I hope you really see the correlation now between your inner and your outer, and how they really do work together in harmony. And when you're balanced within, you are able to show up powerfully without.
Absolutely. They go hand in hand
Yeah.
for sure. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, ladies. This was really a wonderful session. So great to see some new faces as well. And thank you, Amanda, for collaborating to do this, bring this session to fruition.
Thank you, Amanda, for reaching out to me to do it. It's perfect.
Wonderful. Have a fantastic holiday if you're celebrating and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.